Guys, the effect of the FBA boycott is seriously alarming on the Asian businesses, and you have a lot of them coming up to speak about it. They now want unity because their businesses are getting affected more and more, and most of them that are coming out here to cry about the issue and begging that the boycott should stop. Are you for it? Are you against it? I don't know. I would like to hear your thoughts in the comment section at the end of this video. So if you're new to my channel, do want to hit on that subscribe button, and I would love that you should leave a like at the end of the video. Let's start.
Come on now, can we stop this fucking silly game? I see a lot of videos on social media. Asian people say, oh, you need me and I don't need you. And black people also say, oh, you need me, I don't need you. That's a fucking stupid. Truth of the matter is, we need everybody. Can we stop this game and work together? This is getting ridiculous.
To the Black community, I'm sorry. As a Vietnamese American, I am disgusted by those in the Asian community who are more upset about a boycott than the life of innocent Cyrus Carmack Belton. I was recently sitting on the George Floyd bench in Martin Luther King Park in Berkeley, the heart of the Vietnam War protests in the 60s, and was reminded of Dr. King's solidarity with the Vietnamese liberation, which ties to my solidarity with Black liberation. Growing up in the Midwest, I was taught to trust whites and fear Blacks, only to find the opposite is true in my adult life. I've experienced so much kindness and collective care in my interactions with Black folks, both in the US and abroad. Whereas the lack of consciousness or care around the violent systems created by and for white folks when trying to speak to white folks about it is astounding and makes me feel incredibly unsafe with most of them. Asian folks watching this, with internalized white supremacy who prefer proximity to white power over collective liberation, know that you are just a pawn being used by white supremacy in this model minority myth to divide and conquer. And if you had a negative one-on-one encounter with a Black person, remember that white violence at a systemic level kills millions upon millions and allows for one-on-one interactions with white folks to seem surface level nice because they're not forced into daily survival mode due to the privilege they've carved out with their massive systemic violence. So do not trust white nice because it turns unsafe real quick as soon as you dig beneath the surface to see that most white folks do not care that Western white supremacy culture is killing Black and brown folks daily. So while systemic trauma might have caused a negative one-on-one interaction with a Black person for you, remember that Black people are not killing millions of people on a systemic level. Remember how Black people played a central and pioneering role in the Vietnam War protests and stood in solidarity with oppressed Asian people. Do not abandon our allies. We owe the Black community so much because our rights as non-white people in the US were hard fought for by Black folks. So thank you to the Black community for all that you do. Rest in power, Cyrus Carmack Belton.
I had so many comments saying I'm a suck up to the Black community because I'm constantly defending, so let me tell you why I do what I do. My best friend is a Black woman. The person who helped me get through high school and get me into college was a Black woman. I was in the Black Student Union because majority of my friends were Black and I had nowhere else to go. What was I gonna do, hang out with the white people who said I was too dark to be Asian? Fuck no! I was on the step team and I learned about why stepping was created and all about the Divine Nine. I opened my mind to different perspectives. I looked at this country through a lens of somebody who didn't look like me, which is what I wish a lot of people would do, but bitches can't even pick up a book nowadays. If you narrow your mind to only one perspective of this country, you're not gonna understand the struggles that other people are going through. You think this country's great because you have privilege! You're privileged! People have the audacity to get mad when the Black community constantly complains about their struggles when you're actively giving them their struggles. What the fuck else are they supposed to do? You gut voting rights. You gerrymander southern states so that the Black community loses their power. Who the fuck wouldn't be mad? Black people built this country, but they're getting the short end of the stick. I'd be pissed too. Don't forget the demographic that voted the least.
And hey, for all the Asians who are now all of a sudden afraid of Black Americans and the Blacks, right? Y'all don't have nothing to worry about, right? Especially if you live in Los Angeles. We're not even the same proximity of each other, okay? I see Asians in fucking passing and that's it, on the freeway. That's where I see y'all, other than the ones that I work with. A Japanese man and a Chinese lady, and they have no clue about none of this shit. I'm talking about the internet Asians. Those are the real ones. They barely speak fucking English, okay? And we get along just fine. But that's individually, okay? I keep seeing videos of you people talking about our community. Your community has absolutely nothing to worry about, right? Just like before. Stop Asian hate. Oh my God. How y'all were using like one-off black special ed people who were like doing heinous shit to make it seem like all black people were attacking Asians. You have nothing to worry about, all right? Like, look, we need to stop with that kind of shit, all right? Y'all know your neighbor, y'all not even by us unless you got a liquor store or something in our neighborhood. You see that? We don't got no stores in y'all neighborhoods, but y'all sure do come over here and take that black dollar, don't you? Right, so you have nothing to be afraid of. All right, so all the videos that is going around, like, fucking stop it, okay? We're not even by each other.
People would act the same way as Chinese people do, they would be so much more powerful, so much more rich. There are so many black people in the world. There are so many, especially African Americans, bro. The thing is, they are not bonding. They're fighting each other. If they would be as united as Chinese people, bro, they will be powerful as fuck. But they're divided. But they could be powerful, but they don't have this unity. They don't have this gene which makes them connected. Or maybe it's the elite which keeps them divided.
I've been seeing a lot more content about Black and Asian solidarity, so I wanted to share my story. Before I was embraced by Asian folks, I found a sense of belonging in the Black community first. It's where I learned about brotherhood and camaraderie, and also how to rap. And even now, as someone who's unapologetically Asian as fuck, my love and respect remains the same. Because honestly, if the Black community in Atlanta didn't support me and encourage me to rap when I was a teen, I probably wouldn't be an artist right now. By the way, these type of cultural exchanges have been happening way before me, and it's more common than you think. So don't let social media make you think we're all against each other.
Saw a woman recently saying that we should boycott Asian businesses because she said that black people can't win when Asians own all of the businesses and that we had it easier coming to this country. As an Asian whose grandparents immigrated to this country and as a business owner, let me dissect this. Complete bullshit. Have you never heard of P-bashing before? Have you not heard about the 16-hour shifts that our grandparents did in the mills here up north? Those people worked endlessly. 12 hours, 16-hour shifts in mills, getting their hands all mangled up in machines just to get by, or working as toilet cleaners and just to survive. They didn't have it easier. They were disciplined and sacrificed everything. Just to make it clear, I want to bring communities together. I'm not here to divide communities. I just want to point out exactly how the Asian community built some wealth. And don't say we had it easier, because even in 2025, just in September, a Sikh woman was raped and told go back to her own country. Don't talk about easier when we get that kind of treatment in 2025. The reason why our grandparents did better is because they saved every measly penny they could get to invest it in long-term assets, houses, gold, businesses. You call that privilege? They were patient and willing to live in the shit for the hope of a better future. Tell that to our ancestors who crammed into tiny houses, 5 different families, sharing food so that they could save up money to buy their own homes eventually. Instead of enjoying their lives, they lived in the shit just to get by. That's not easier. They paid the price for it. And they didn't buy nice clothes, they drove shit cars, they spent nothing. And then their children now own and inherit these homes, and then they can put them up as rent and generate cash flow from it, giving the next generation a leg up essentially. And that's the way that wealth accumulation works. Each generation creates assets or purchases assets to then pass on to the next generation, so they have a little leg up, and then their kids benefit from that. Even now, I mean, I can afford where I live very comfortably, but my dad says to me all the time, Jamil, you should come home, come live at home, because that is their literal wealth building tactic. Stay home, live below your means, and save money. And let's get one thing straight. Yeah, we run a lot of businesses, but don't blame us for taking the risk of starting them. Don't blame Asians for filling that spot for a corner shop. Anyone could have bought it. You could have started that business. Our ancestors pooled resources for the community together so that the community could win. Instead of hating online, why don't you speak to those Asian owners and learn how they did it instead? I don't come from a rich family, and that's the exact reason I'm a business owner. I've got a biomedical science degree and I can work in a hospital. But I know that if I want my kids to have a better life, then I need to build some some wealth, and I'm not going to do that sat working for other people. Me and my brother are the classic example of two people coming together, pooling resources and building a business and succeeding with it. And that's one thing that I actually miss about the older generation. Back in the 80s and 90s, Asians had a community like glue. They worked together. They weren't selfish. They built something so that their kids could live better lives. And I'm disappointed, honestly, because historically, colored people have always come together and had each other's backs. And we've always unified in the past. I mean, historically in the Caribbean, Indian migrants literally shared culture with the people who live there. That's literally where curry goat comes from. You need to take some accountability and learn about sacrifice and stop blaming the world, essentially, because that's what our grandparents did. That's all they did to accumulate wealth. They were bashed in the streets and still sacrificed so that their children don't have to suffer the same way.
Y'all want to know one thing that I really, really love about this election? This election, Donald Trump being projected to be our next president, Donald Trump winning the elections, this shit really proved that Black Americans was right this whole time. Like, I really hope y'all immigrants are seeing that us Black Americans was right this whole time. Let me tell y'all, so y'all know how, like, all these Hispanics, all these Black people from other countries, all these different groups of people come to the United States and they laugh and point fingers at the Black Americans. Black Americans this, Black Americans that. You know, they always keep saying, y'all been in this country for 400 years. You know, Black American community, my grandparents came here with nothing. And now our community is surging ahead of the Black Americans. And Black people in America, we keep trying to tell y'all, other groups of people get funding, get loans, get grants, get opportunities because America was looking out for y'all to smite Black Americans because they were angry at our grandparents for changing the country so that y'all other groups of people could come here. Now walk with me on this. I feel like, because y'all know how everybody's confused right now. Everybody's like, well, why did all of these Hispanics vote for Donald Trump? If Donald Trump don't like Hispanics and he's trying to deport people. Well, everybody knew that Donald Trump is a racist, right? I think that a lot of other people of color who voted for Donald Trump, they expected him to immediately put Black people on the bottom. Because Black Americans, we have always been America's scapegoat. And I think that these Hispanics and Latinos who voted for Donald Trump and these other immigrants who voted for Donald Trump, I think that they thought that he was going to look out for them and put Black Americans on beneath America's feet. Like they always do, because it has always been, when you come to this country, as long as you stay away from the Black Americans and you are willing to stand on Black Americans, you can make it. As long as you are willing to come here and shit on Black Americans the way white people do, you can make it. And so when they voted for Donald Trump, it's almost like they thought that him being racist only applied to Black people for whatever reason. And now that this man done so-called won the elections, and they are already starting to propose laws. They're starting to denaturalize citizens. They're trying to send people back to the countries that they came from, and they are trying to come up with laws to denaturalize people who are the children and grandchildren of immigrants. Now these immigrants are like panicking. But look at the Black Americans, because you know why? We from here. We was not immigrants. We from here. And we've been trying to tell y'all this whole time. This country don't give a fuck about y'all. This country don't like y'all. This country don't give a damn about y'all. They only looked out for y'all so that they could keep us divided. A lot of people don't know that when other groups of people first immigrated to the United States, when the Black nationalist movement was going on, a lot of immigrants were a part of the Black nationalist movement, non-Black immigrants. And like now, it's like all this division going on where other groups of people don't want to be associated with African Americans. And so now that Donald Trump is getting ready to take office Or that's what it's looking like right now, right? That's what it's looking like. He's trying to get ready to take office because he's proposed to be the next president. Now they're coming up with these laws to denaturalize people. And now these same immigrants who thought that they could spend the rest of their time in this country standing on black people's backs, they're at threat of being sent back to the countries that they came from or being sent back to countries that they never been to because they were born here. And look at us African Americans. We sitting here watching y'all look stupid. Once again, black Americans, black people, we almost saved y'all asses, just like our grandparents did. And y'all put y'all foot in y'all own mouth, and now y'all panicking because the president that y'all voted for don't fucking want y'all ass here.
Stop supporting Asian-owned businesses is what I would say if I was fucking stupid.
Have we ever seen an Asian in the soul food spot en masse? Have we ever seen the Asians supporting Black American businesses en masse? Let me know. Maybe I'm going crazy.
As much as my heart goes out to the Rick Chow case, you can't blame a whole community for one isolated incident.
Your heart doesn't really go out to what happened because you didn't make a video about what happened. You're making a video about the response to what happened, right? So which means you don't really care about what happened, but going after the response instead of the action.
And for all those that say that they're going to stop supporting Asian businesses, the clothes on your back probably came from China.
Seeing the clothes on our back come from China actually proves our point to let you know that we're not a hateful people. We always supported the Asian community, and if we stop doing it, that's going to be economic destruction for you. So I don't know if that was supposed to be aha, got you moment, because that's not the flex you thought it was.
And I do admit a lot of Asian people are racist. However, not everyone that's Asian is racist.
So you're admitting that a lot of Asian people are racist. So what are we talking about? Now, I'm not saying all, because I have a few that I'm cool with, but what are we talking about?
I think we should be sabotaging Asian-owned businesses, especially since Asian Heritage Month just passed.
How us doing our own group economic is sabotaging Asian businesses? That's what you guys are doing. You guys are doing your own group economics. You have your Chinatown, when you came into our communities, separated and made your own enclave and communities. Is that sabotaging the Black American community? No, it's not. So we're not sabotaging. We're doing our own group economics. What's the issue?
Also, specifically, not supporting Asian businesses is also considered racist.
So if not supporting Asian business is considered racist, I haven't seen Asians in mass support Black American business. So what that means? So tell me, what does that mean? In the last 65 years, I haven't seen Black Americans working in Asian businesses. I haven't seen us Asians massive support in Black American business. And I definitely didn't see them in no damn soul food spots. So are you saying that they're racist? It sounds like you're telling on yourself. See, the problem is, again, I call it social unity, economic warfare. Socially, it's all love. You might be able to hang out, have fun, go to the bar, whatever. But economically and politically, it's been warfare for the last 65 years, and we're the last to catch up. See, the problem is, a lot of y'all are in our communities, right? Extracting out $1.9 to $2.6 trillion. So the moment we say, hold on, we're going to start doing our own group economics, that's economic devastation and destruction for you. And y'all know it. Y'all know it. This is why such a frantic. This is why such a panic. This is why it's being called racism. Because all we're saying is that, fine, we're going to do what y'all been doing for the last 65 years and doing group economics and keeping the same energy y'all been keeping. Right? So the moment we keep the same energy, oh, God, you guys are racist. Hold on. Why can't we have self-love? Why can't we do group economics? Why can't we do, y'all been boycotted us for the last 65 years. Y'all boycotted us for the last 65 years. So the moment we boycott back is a problem? That's interesting.
Black people saved me. And it's not some tagline. I was born on the streets of South Korea. I begged for money every day, door to door. I got taken from my biological family, put in a home, adopted or sold to an American family that had really great intentions. Really great intentions. But they were ill prepared, and the system was just messed up. And life didn't really become easier became tougher. But black people saved me. Their culture, their music, their resilience. And one day, I hope everyone sees the beauty.
Examples of how the black community helped us Asians, a lot of people are like, oh, those were centuries ago, that's all you got, even though all I was trying to show is that we would have made the progress we made if it weren't for help from the black community. So before I show you more recent examples, have you considered picking up a fucking book and doing your own research? Or can you not read? Back when Asian hate crimes were on a surge, black-led organizations like CURYJ actively supported youth patrols protecting Asian elders. Back when the Atlanta spot shootings happened, black organizers and community members joined forces with us in solidarity for rallies and marches. There are several black and Asian solidarity scholarships, collectives, conferences that are still happening today. Instead of always relying on the black community to help us, how about we help ourselves, huh? The Virulent Hate Project at the University of Michigan analyzed media reports from 2020 and found that in 89.6% of the news coverage that were covering anti-Asian hate crimes, the perpetrators were white. Where's the anger there? Sure, the viral videos you saw online at the time, the perpetrators were black. But that's what you're seeing online. Most shit doesn't get recorded. So I'm done. Rick Chat.
Just a reminder to other Asians, when the black community says that they're going to boycott Asian businesses, that's not them being racist. They're literally just asking us to give them the respect that they rightfully deserve. There's a lot of anti-Blackness in the Asian community, and I'm sick of seeing it. We're all sick of seeing it. And the black community knows that all Asians aren't racist. It's just that these Asian businesses need to be reminded that they literally profit off of the black community.
Seeing Asians in my comments telling me to stop pandering, stop kissing their asses, stop betraying your people. Because what you really mean is stop talking. And I need to make something clear. I'm not betraying anybody. I'm not performing for anyone. I'm saying what I've seen, what I've experienced, and a lot of people only want to acknowledge it in private, if at all. And I'm definitely not going to let Asian unity be used as a shield that shuts down any conversation about harm. You don't get to turn honesty into some kind of moral failure. You don't get to call it pandering just because it interrupts the story that you're used to telling yourself. Because if talking about anti-Blackness in Asian spaces makes you defensive, that reaction is the point. That's the part worth sitting with. And I'm not here to soften anything so it goes down easier. I'm not that kind of person. I'm here to say as it is.
Boy, I started smiling so big when I saw this woke Asian female spitting nothing but heat. I just want to say thank you. She hit the nail right on the head.
For all the racist fucks that keep saying they have black fatigue, I think it's time we set the record straight. You don't have black fatigue. You have history fatigue. You're tired of being reminded that black people didn't just participate in the world. They were a huge part in shaping it. Every race and every culture has benefited from the sacrifices that black people have made. The civil rights movement didn't just open doors for black Americans. It expanded freedoms for everyone. And the shameful part is black people hardly, if ever, get the credit for it. Black people aren't just in music and sports. You guys need to get out more, okay? Black people are doctors, lawyers, pilots, judges, engineers, educators, innovators, and the list goes on. They hold up systems that people rely on daily while pretending that contribution doesn't exist. And no, this isn't pandering. This is lived experience. I grew up in an all-white neighborhood with very few black people and no other Asians. And at that time, the only culture that accepted me without question was the black culture. So when people talk about a world without black people, they expose how very little they understand about the world they already live in. Without black people, you don't get a world with less noise. You get a world with less creativity, less freedom, less culture, and less progress. If that truth exhausts you, it's not fatigue. It's discomfort with knowing how much you benefit from this world without acknowledging the source.
Happy Black History Month.
We do not claim this man. So apparently this guy decided to burn a cross in Chicago, which we all know has historically been a very racist sign that the KKK used. And the more situations that arise like this, the worse it makes our community look. I just want to make it clear that most Asians know that this is terrible behavior. With this, I do want to remind people that Asians are not a monolith, and assuming that all Asians are racist is in itself racist and perpetuates the stereotype that we are all the same. And at the same time, I do think there have been enough instances for Asians to have to kind of be on the defense. The same way that white people or men sometimes have to be like, by the way, guys, I'm not that. I'm not that. I guess this is me doing that. But I guess in some ways it's a good thing because now it gives us the opportunity to clear the air and to define where we are in American society and in history. Because a lot of Asians forget, specifically because the US school system never taught us, that we have a lot of shared history with black and brown people in America. I was a full-on adult when I found out that Asians were brought to the Americas as slaves as well. Like, I feel like a lot of people don't know that. Or maybe people do know that and I just exposed myself. But I certainly never learned that in elementary school, middle school, high school, etc. I had to learn by going out of my way to learn. So let's make this guy the exception and not the rule and condemn this kind of behavior.
So some Asian guys are like, why are we fighting racism with racism? And most of them don't actually get the point. The truth about the thing is that the FBA boycott has actually done a lot of good. It has actually done a lot of good in the sense that the black dollar is circulating now in the black community and is empowering that community. It has also made a lot of sense that some of them have come to the realization that they actually need black people to spend money on their businesses in order for it to boom. And others have somehow started to respect the black community, which I think without the boycott, some would have not even realized that they ought to be treated like human beings. So it's not a hate something. I believe most of the black persons here are like, it's not hate or revenge. They're like, okay, let's spend our money where we're going to be respected. Because for the past decades, guys, the black people have been facing racism and they have been criticized and have been disrespected. And they're like, enough is enough. And I don't think it's bad. So, and it's very rare for you to see an Asian person supporting a black business, but they somehow expect us to support their businesses. But we're like, okay, enough is enough. And I don't think it's something that is really, really bad. So why don't you all get your own people to support your own businesses and just leave us alone? Thank you very much for watching my video, and I would love to hear your own thoughts in the comment section. Do well to hit on that subscribe button. See you in the next one.